welcome to another episode of Under the Microscope. Under the Microscope, once again, is a product of A&M Career Consulting Foundation Incorporated, which is a non-for-profit organization located and operated out of the state of New York. Our main focus is to deliver career coaching to underserved communities throughout the New York area, and also to highlight success of entrepreneurs in the New York area and bring to light their story, what it is that they offer. And today I have a very special guest that will be joining me on Under the Microscope. We're going to take some time to take this gentleman and his brand under the lens and take a deep dive into who he is and what his product is. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the set, Mr. Daniel Duncan. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for taking the time. You're out of your busy schedule to join us today under the microscope and give us an opportunity to take a deep dive into your into who you are as a person and also your clothing line. And from what I understand, your clothing line is called Unity from Havoc.
Yes.
All right, and as you can see right behind him, he has a sample of his clothing line. And but we're gonna get into it a little bit, and we'll give him an opportunity to share, you know, what is this clothing line, how it came about, and where you can get access to it. But before we get to all of that, I think it's important to learn who is Mr. Daniel Duncan. So, sir, who are you?
As you said, my name is Daniel Duncan, born and raised in Brooklyn for 31 years. What else can I say about myself? Inspired by a lot of things, a lot of my surroundings. Not saying bad, but some can be bad that could be turned into good. But mainly surrounded by a lot of inspirational things such as music, um, more like people that are willing to inspire others to keep moving forward and look for a brighter future, not just to stay where they are. What else? Grew up in a Jamaican household, so very strict. I can't let myself down. So I always gotta keep pushing forward and just see that the grass is green on the other side.
All right. Well, I mean, that's growing up in a Caribbean household. You know, I know your parents from Jamaica, but you know, I'm from Trinidad, so I can totally identify with that. Being brought up in that environment, you know, where they work really hard to instill those values in us. So yeah, I think a lot of people who hear in this, especially if they have any roots from the Caribbean, could definitely identify with it. Not to say that individuals born and bred here and their parents are from the US, that's not the case. But you know, I haven't grown up in a household like that, so I can't speak to it. And as well, you can't speak to it, but we could speak to our reality, right? Which is growing up in a Caribbean household where our parents were driven and definitely want the best for us against all the odds, right? And it wasn't easy, you know. So yes, you know what might be a pain point, you could definitely turn it into a positive and let it be that inspiration to help propel you to where you want to go. So thanks for sharing with us, sir.
No problem.
All right. So I know that everyone might be, you know, longing to hear about this clothing line, Unity from Havoc. If you could share a little bit with us, like what is this about? Where the name came from? Tell us a little bit about the history of your clothing line and what inspired.
So I always been into fashion, and reason being because I'm structured a certain way. Like my body frame is built a certain way, so it's hard for me to shop for clothing. And being that being that it's hard for me to shop for clothing, it inspired me to want to make my own clothing. Unity from Havoc now, that came about from the whole Black Lives Matter and even before. So it's pretty much symbolizes that we're being unified by something that's coming from a tragedy. So such as Black Lives Matter, um, the the whole Corona presidency, like when Trump is going to presidency and everything. Not to just point him out, but just something to just be stated. It just pretty much coming together from something that is tragic, and everybody has their own type of way of coming together of something that's tragic. It could be a death in the family. It could be something in school. Like people could just be protesting about, yeah, like if something's not going right in our educational field, people come together, fight for what's needed to be there, and that's how that name came about. At first, I was struggling for a name. Like I always wanted to bring something out, but I could not figure out a name for it for anything. And something just came across one day, just like, let me just think of something that's going on right now that would possibly be a great name. And I'm just like, right now, in the current state, this was about 2 years ago. I mean, in the current state, it was just like everybody's coming together just to do what is necessary and just to be heard. So I'm like, all right, everybody's unifying off of being hurt right now. And I'm like, dang, everybody's hurt. Like, what's something else that could be another word for hurt? And I just thought of Havoc. And that's how it came about.
Wow. I mean, it's really strong. I mean, the message behind the name, because I could definitely think about so many times in our lifetime, right, where we had to deal with some sort of havoc, right? And it's true. You know, you had 9/11 that happened, right? What it brought about, unity, where you had people that pulled together, right? You had people that pulled together for the common good. So there was unity from havoc, right? When you talk about the Obama presidency, right? You had unity from havoc, right? Because there was so much that was going on around that time that, you know, I mean, we don't have to go back and repeat it. I think everybody kind of know. And if you don't know, YouTube is there, you know, to kind of show, you know, the division, the divisiveness that was going on in our society. But people saw the greater good and they united, and not once but twice elected President Obama to the presidency, right? When we look at voting rights, stemming all the way back from Martin Luther King, right, and him and everyone that was a part of that group, you know, out of havoc, they was fighting for something, so they unite. You know, the unity was there. So, you know, I would safely say in the midst of everything that's going on in our lives, I think once we have situations in which people or an event happens, you normally see people pull together. And it's just by human nature. And it's so crazy that I don't know why it can't be that way all the time. Why it have to take havoc, right, to unite us, right? But the name I think is well well chosen. I think it really fits what it is that you're trying to deliver, right? Definitely on the clothing line is great, especially when you can have a group of people wearing it, right? That
Yeah.
demonstrates that yes, there is unity, and we're wearing it out of havoc. Something happened that brought us together. So definitely, I'm really excited about what it is that you're doing, the name. I mean, I'm looking at some of your product on in the back, and it looks, I mean, it's really, really good. I love the hat and the hoodie. So I mean, I can't see everything, but from the hat display and the hoodie that is right there.
Yeah, I got a couple items to even display, like even some shorts for the summer, two
Okay,
different colors. And yeah, I'm trying to bring out a bunch of different colors as possible. I'm
nice.
even on limited, like this hoodie in particular is a limited edition. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it's done that way purposely.
Right. No, I could see it. Definitely, you could see it. Unity from Hava. I love how the graphic is definitely something it's should be limited because just by the design of it.
And
Right.
it's
Oh,
glow in the
good.
dark as well.
Ah,
It glows in the dark as well.
oh, it does.
Hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I gotta get one, man. Definitely. I mean, I'm. Winter time is here. Definitely, I'll be hooking up with you. After the show. We'll be in touch. All right. But for viewers, people hearing your story, getting to see a few items of what you have, you know, um, they may ask themselves, where can I find your product? Where can I purchase them? So for those who are looking at this recording, where can they find your products?
So right now, I'm still working on the website. Um, so for right now, you can find it on Instagram at Unity from Havoc LLC.
What is
Um,
it? Unity from Havoc LLC.
yes.
Okay.
And from there, if they see anything that they like, or if there's something that they specially want made in a special colorway, I can do it for them. And all it takes is just a simple DM. I respond to all DMs. Um, if there is a particular color that they want, I'll let them know. Just give me a couple days. I'll have it. Only thing that I ask for, if this is exactly what they want, small deposit of like $10, and everything's gonna be made as soon as possible. And from there, I'll work with the shipping, handling, everything.
All right. Thanks for sharing that. So y'all hear it. Unity from Havoc LLC on Instagram, and you could definitely hit him up on his DM, and definitely be able to get you connected with whatever you want. Um, so the inspiration behind, I just wanted to go back a little bit on the inspiration behind the clothing line. Um, how have people received your message, and how have they responded in terms of supporting your brand?
Some people received it very well. Some people actually shocked me by once they hear the name of the brand, they just like, I understand it. You don't have to say nothing, and it makes me happy. Uh, Others I have to explain to them like what it means, and especially like for example, so I have other caps as well that you see up there. Like the ones you see up here are my first edition hats. This is my
Okay.
second edition. So this one has a rose on the side, and then Unity from Havoc as well.
Okay.
So when people see the rose, they ask what does the rose mean, and I tell them that the rose mean it's like a double standard. So I tell them that it's better to have your roses now than to have your roses later. Which I'm saying I respect you that you're alive. I'm giving you your roses now that you're alive. I respect you. And instead of giving you your roses while you're laying there lifeless, and this is the last time I see you. This is pretty much is I don't want to hand you your roses for the last time I'm seeing you. I want to hand you your roses now that I'm celebrating your life.
Right.
You're still here. I still get to see you. We can laugh and everything.
Wow.
So,
That's really unique there. That's a good touch.
it's a lot of thought into this.
No, I could definitely see, if I saw the rose, I wouldn't even figure out what it is. I'd definitely ask you what's the purpose behind the rose. So that's a really nice touch. It's a really nice touch. So I know we're just getting started out with your clothing line. What is your goal? What is your let's say like a 5-year projection? Where do you see yourself taking this brand? Where would you like to see it reach?
Where I would like to see it reach? That's a great question. I wouldn't want to say like on a platform of like how Nike and Adidas are, but I would like for it to be known as something that is part of history. Like kind of how what's the brand that came and just went? I can't even think of nothing off the top of my head right now, but I would like for it to be known as like, all right, this is a brand that's made for us, like the community, and not even just the community, worldwide. Like it's made for the people who've been through something and it has meaning. Versus how Nike brand is, this is a brand that's for just everybody.
Right.
Not
So
not even.
so
Go ahead.
what I'm hearing from you is that you're carving out a little niche in the marketplace. So you have a target market where you want people to identify with the product, given that they've been through something, right? Something that probably helped shape their lives, something that probably help change the direction, right? And it doesn't mean that, and I always say, out of havoc, good always comes out of it, right? I always say, out of a disaster, good has to come out of it, because then let's 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 look, for example, at the coronavirus, the pandemic, right? Yes, it created a havoc, and it's still creating a havoc, right? Because so many people lost their loved ones. It helped cause a lot of havoc to so many economies across the world, right? Where you could see the prices of things being driven up so crazy that it makes it really hard to afford a lot of things for a lot of people, right? I mean, thank God for we're living here in the US that, some measures were put in place to help soften the burden of some of the hurt that people go through. But think about countries in which those measures are not in place, right? And these people still have to try to survive in the midst of COVID and all the restrictions. So out of those things, you have already started to see where innovative thinking have now come to the forefront. People are now thinking outside the box. It helps shape how people behave, right? You can look and see in consumer spending, where people purchase their stuff is totally online now, right? A lot of people don't go to stores anymore, right? So it helped change the dynamic of things. People are more investing in their homes, investing in themselves, right? They always had this burning idea that they wanted to bring forth, right? And it gave people an opportunity to settle down and really identify what is important to them, right? So out of the havoc, definitely good comes out of it. And, I totally hope as people see this recording and see this video and the time that we get to spend with Daniel and his brand, that you can find it necessary to support him in what he's doing, right? Especially if something impacted you, some havoc, some issue you had in your past now help unite you and your family back together, or you and a community back, or friends, whatever it is, right? Or even a community as a whole that probably went through something, all right? But, you know, I really like what you're doing. I definitely get the word out there and try to bring some attention to your brand. I think it's worthwhile. I think that people could identify with it more if they know about it a little more, right? And I know it's a young brand, and you're trying to get it out there and so forth. But definitely, we're going to do everything on our part and use our platform to get it out there.
All right, thank you.
All right. So I know that we have a whole lot that we could possibly talk about, but due to the essence of time, you know, we definitely want to get everyone up to par with what your brand is about and how they can get it, and how they can support you. So the last question I have, when we look at your brand, right, in the communities that let's say that we say that might be supporting it, have you seen other communities supporting it because they appreciate what it is that you're doing? They may not identify, but they appreciate what it is that you're doing.
Yes, definitely. Like, I've shipped to a couple places like Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida, and for the ones who actually displayed that they're wearing it, like wearing it alone is the biggest support for me, because it shows that it's taken as in, like, they wanted it for that reason. They want to show not just that they supporting the brand, but they've been through something before, or even now. But definitely, just, I'm sorry, I'm mixing myself up just a little bit. But far as what was the question? One more time, please.
So the question was, have you come across individuals or people or communities that may not identify with what it is that you're doing, but they appreciate what you're doing because they understand the message behind it?
Yes. Even, all right, so even around the area that I live in, there are a lot of people who appreciate it because it's not that many Black owned businesses, and for the ones that are, it's just like they're not just doing it for their people, they're just doing it just to have a business.
Right.
Me, on the other hand, is like, yes, I have to run a business, but at the same time, I'm doing it with meaning, and I communicate with the people because I want to know exactly what they want, what they've been through, of reason why they're just not only choosing my brand, but it's certain things that comes to play. Like when it's certain colors that they ask for, the colors is like a mood. So that's, I try to find their story based on their color that they choose.
Right.
But yeah, some of them, they definitely understand the message. They even tell the message. So again, like I told you before, they shock me sometimes.
Well, at least you know it's creating an impact, right? And people can, the message resonate. And I think that's one of the most important thing about your brand, right? It's just like Nike or Adidas or Reebok or Coca-Cola or even Starbucks. People want to identify with it because it makes them probably feel a certain way, gives them, you know, a certain presence, right? Or it tells a story about them, right? And I could definitely see where Unity from Havoc and wearing the clothing line, right? You can definitely tell from someone is either they appreciate it or they've been through some kind of life-changing event that drive them to be able to unite, right? They show that, hey, you know what, something happened, but out of that, I was able to emerge into something greater than where I was before. So it shows the ability, you know, that stepping stone, that opportunity to do better, right? And to be a more productive individual in the community. But man, I really appreciate you taking this time today, you know, to spend some time with us, you know, giving us the opportunity to take you and your product under Unity from Harvard under our microscope, right? And we take a little dive into it so people could get to understand what the message about, what, you know, who you are as a person, and what drove you to get into this product, right? Because you could have been doing so many other things, right? But it's because of something that really resonated with you that helped you to come up with this product. And I really appreciate it, because for me, myself, you know, definitely I could identify with it, because there's so many trials and tribulations that have helped to shape who I am, shape the way how I think, how I go about stuff, how I see the world, right? And definitely it inspires me. It really, really does. And I hope that everyone who's looking at this video definitely can feel the same way, the way I feel. But Daniel, again, thank you so much for taking the time. If you want to say any last words to our viewers, I greatly appreciate it. And if you could also tell them again where they can find you, and where they can get access to your products.
All right. Last thing I do want to say is, when it comes to my brand, I am bringing quality. I search long and hard for quality. I do not want to sell nothing cheap. I don't want to sell nothing that is imperfected, because I'm sort of a perfectionist.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that.
And again, like, even if I have to order things like for this hat, per se, it's made from Pakistan. I waited 3 months because it was made in Pakistan. I could have went to Jersey. Sorry, I have my niece in the background.
Right.
I could have went to anywhere else and got just a simple hat and my name put on it.
Right.
No, I wanted quality. I wanted something that's strong and that will last for a long time. So definitely, everything is made of quality.
Right.
And again, where to find me is on Instagram, Unity from Havoc LLC.
All right, and make sure you hit him up on his DM and support. All right, definitely support Daniel and his brand, and you know, give him the opportunity to boost what it is that he's doing. Man, thank you again. It was a great pleasure spending a little time with you and getting to know your brand a little bit better. And definitely, I'll be in touch with you. I like the red hat that I'm seeing back there, the red and the white. That's
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm feeling those right now, man.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm feeling those right now. All right, but thank you again.
All right, no problem. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this comes to the end of another episode of Under the Microscope. And today, again, we had a great pleasure of spending some time with Daniel Duncan and his brand, Unity from Harvard. Please stay tuned to more recordings that we will be having in the future. And definitely, again, reach out to Daniel via his Instagram and send him a DM and show the support. Please be safe, take care of yourself, and look forward to our next episode of Under the Microscope. Have a great day.